Good morning, Lancers. This is Mr. Smith with another episode of College 411. Joining us today is Roberto Guzman, class of 2011. And something that's really special about Roberto Guzman, he is the first and only Lakeside student to be accepted at Stanford University. Good morning, Roberto. Thanks for coming today.
Morning, Mr. Smith, and thanks for having me.
So talk a little bit about what the experience was like applying to and getting accepted at Stanford University.
Well, it was a lot to put it in a few words. Applying there was interesting because I didn't have as much guidance applying there as other people had applying to CSUs or UCs. I was literally told by Ms. Henricks, you need to Google it and figure it out.
So Roberto, tell us about what the experience was like. Once you got to Stanford University, what were your living situations like? How much did it cost you? That type of thing.
Yeah, so I lived in a dorm all 4 years, and moving on freshman year was quite the culture shock because once you move in, you're completely enveloped in this new atmosphere. And I went from being this little guy from Elsinore to suddenly being in this place called Stanford where everyone was the best of the best. And gotta say, it's pretty intimidating at times.
What was the surrounding community like? What activities did you have to be able to participate in while you were there at Stanford?
Yeah, so the culture shock mostly stemmed from the fact that everyone came from a completely different background. Whereas my background's more humble and start from the bottom, now we're here sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Them, they were constantly on top, just riding the coattails of previous successes that ran in their family. But while in the dorms, I got to interact with a lot of these people, make a lot of friends. I happened to be in the freshman dorm that was the international house. So I had a lot of international friends off the bat. A German friend, 2 Brazilian friends, a couple of Chinese friends. And it was great. Again, a little bit of a culture shock, but at the same time, it was fun being in this new, uncomfortable, different situation. Got to learn a lot of cool things about being a student there.
What was the degree that you ended up with, and how is that useful to the career that you're involved with now?
So I actually ended up with 2 degrees at Stanford. First, I got my bachelor's in biology with a focus in ecology and evolution. I actually got an honors distinction on that degree. I had to write a 50-page honors thesis on that, so that was fun. And after that, I went to finish my master's in the same field. And with that, I was able to just accrue years of experience working in labs and at different places as well. So I spent some time at Stanford campus itself. I spent some time in Monterey in a satellite campus from Stanford. We're doing marine research right on the ocean. Mm-hmm. And when I studied abroad in Australia, I did a lot of research there as well. Okay. And so I have all these years of experiences in all these different places, and all this has helped me to write a fantastic resume, a fantastic cover letters for future employers. And now I'm on track to being a research assistant at Embari.
So talk about that position. You're actually going to start here in the next week or so, is that right?
Yeah.
Talk about what that job looks like for you once you get there.
Yeah, so I'll start on the 3rd, but I'm leaving on the 1st. And basically, research assistant is what it sounds like. I'm an assistant to a researcher. And I'll be working 30 hours a week, just helping identify different invertebrates in different mud samples. And I know it doesn't sound glamorous at all, but to me it's really fascinating because these mud samples are from the bottom of the ocean, deep parts of the ocean.
Okay.
So potentially, finding something new or something different within the mud. And so I'm really, really excited for that.
Awesome. So, do you have future plans beyond that? Do you plan on maybe getting an even more advanced degree? What's kind of what you're thinking about where you're heading?
Yeah. Well, for future degrees, I think I'm done with school.
Okay.
I enjoyed my time, but it's definitely time for me to move on. Although a lot of people did recommend I get a PhD, I thought I didn't want to spend another decade in school, so I'm good for now. But for future plans, the position I'm currently going to be employed in is a temporary position, and if they're satisfied with my performance, that'll more than likely branch its way into a more permanent, full-time position, which I would love.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Roberto, for coming in and kind of giving us an update about what it takes to get into Stanford and what you're doing in your current career situation.
Yep.
And I will say, we are very proud of you and your accomplishments. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
All right.